Welcome to Knicksfandom. This is an independent New York Knicks fan-based podcast, which was created by fans for fans. The show is hosted by LA Blackwell, Danny, and Flau. They'll discuss the issues surrounding the Knicks, the NBA, and various other sports-related topics. Join us. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
When I move, you move, just like that. When I move, you move, just like that. Stand up, Knicks fans. This is episode 35 of Knicksfandom. As always, I'm your host, L.A. Blackwell. Hope all listeners out there are doing great. Joined by my co-host, Danny D. How you doing, Danny D?
What's good, L.A.? How's everything?
I'm good, man. The Knicks are winning, man. They're on a good little streak right now. How about you, my other co-host, Flo? How's everything on your side?
L.A., I'm very good today. How you doing today, man?
I'm all right, fellas. We got a lot to talk about. And we're going to jump right into things. Right into our first segment, which is the weekly Knicks Round-Up. And since our last podcast, the Knicks played the Cleveland Cavaliers, Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, and the Phoenix Suns. And now the record stands overall at 4-4. Won against Cleveland Cavaliers 114-95. They also beat the Denver Nuggets 116-110, and they lost to the Rockets 119-97, and they defeated the Phoenix Suns 120-107. Knicks are scheduled to play the Pacers later on tonight. But first up, what's your thoughts pertaining to the Cavs game? Starting with you, Danny D.
The Cavs game went well. You know, Tim Hardaway Jr. finally stepped up, 34 points, 8 assists. KP, you know, he's getting busy, 32-12, and they played together as a team. You know, Jack created the tempo, slowed it down. Everybody had to be where they at. You had Cantor doing his thing and Lee doing his thing, and they played together as a team. I don't know, you know, a lot of Cavs fans are going to say that, you know, LeBron didn't have help, you know, this and that, but I'll take a win for a win, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I agree. That was a nice win. That was one of the ones we was worried about last week when we did our little predictions. How about you, Flo? What you thought about that game against the Cavs?
L.A., anytime when King James get a loss, I enjoy it. Especially against my Knicks, I enjoyed it. Knicks gave up 41 points in the second half. Excellent team defense by this team. Great effort. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably a big fan of the show because I know you heard Danny D, you know, ripping him to shreds last week's podcast.
You got to motivate Danny D?
Got motivated, man.
Yeah, Courtney Lee had 15 points and 10 rebounds, 3 assists in 38 minutes. Overall, this was a great victory by the Knicks. You go into the King James building and you dominate. I never really believed that the Cavs were going to make a big comeback. They made some runs, but I never thought the Knicks lead was in jeopardy. All in all, great victory by this Knicks team. They deserve it. Excellent job. Great coaching job also by Coach Hornets. Great team victory. They well-deserved, well-earned.
Yeah, definitely. A very, very good win by the Knicks. Some of the key points I noticed, like you stated, Tim Hardaway had a nice bounce-back game, 34 points. But Katner, he been doing his thing, man. He got 12 rebounds that game as well. And Jack, he been really, you know, getting these guys settled with 9 assists. That was big as well. And KP keep doing his thing, 32 points, 11 rebounds. But the other thing I really thought about was that you just saw Kyle Quinn. I thought he played okay well. He did like a plus 13. But the main thing was just looking at overall was the assists and the individual defense by the Cavs. You had J.R. Smith out there running after Tim Hardaway, looking like he was trying to, like, he owed him money, man. It was bad. You couldn't catch up with him, just going through screens and everything else. And it's the best time to catch the Cavs right now. They were struggling before LeBron went off. We'll talk about in our other show, NBA Fandom, in which, you know, he dropped a big 57 points. But that's the time to catch the Cavs. They was going through some things, and they're struggling. Knicks look good in that game. They pretty much touched everything about that game. What about the Nuggets game? Starting with you this time, Flo. What you thought about that one?
Good victory by the Knicks, but biggest concern I have, they gave up 67 points in the second half. Real sloppy defensively, real sloppy. In the first half, Jack had 9 assists and 0 turnovers. Porzingis had 22 points in that first half. But in that third quarter is where the Knicks look like they're about to self-destruct. They had 12 turnovers as a team just in that third quarter alone. But overall, all-around effort. McDermott, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 21 minutes. Kyle O'Quinn had 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 blocks in 21 minutes. Kanter, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists in 24 minutes. And once again, Porzingis, 38 points, 14 of 26 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 assists. Excellent job. Excellent job. Good victory by the Knicks. Real sloppy, but they got the job done.
Very true, very true. How about you, Danny D?
Yeah, to follow what Flo said, it was a good win, but it was kind of scary in the third because I'm still reeling off that Detroit Pistons loss when we had that big lead and we lost. These guys went on a 27-2 run. And what happened was the guard play of Denver really got into Jared Jack's head. It was a scary. That's what makes me scared because we really don't have like a real starting guard or a backup guard because they were getting in the passing lanes for Jared Jack and we were disturbing them. And we're getting a lot of turnovers and they were getting easy buckets because I think at one point it was like 72, like to 66. And I was like, oh man, here comes the same old bull crap again. We about to get this L. But they buckled down and they got busy. And Tim Hardaway Jr., oh, you lucky because I was about to yell at you right now because he had 13 in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? Because he was scoreless, and I'm like, "Yo, Tim, what's going on, player?" You know what I'm saying? We need the points. You have to get busy. We nothing's going on. So he had 13 in the fourth. He should have had more, but it was a good win, but scary because that third had me really worried.
Yeah, that's true as well. The thing I was looking at also, you're right about Jared Jack, but they look even worse when he wasn't out there. It was a point I was begging for him to get back out there, yelling at my TV. I'm like, "What is you doing?" The game was just slowly slipping away. So, he had 10 assists that game as well. So that's the thing to look at. But like you said, even he's not your prototypical starter at this point in his career. But just so the Knicks really do need another starting point guard or really need Frank to make that leap to have this team get to where they really want to get to. But, KP did his thing, and that was the biggest thing with this game. He really ate up Paul Millsap. If anybody thinks Paul Millsap was on KP level, you could forget about it. That dude looked frustrated. He looked bewildered. He looked like he didn't want to be out there. He was arguing, throwing KP around, getting physical, shot 2 of 13. He had 10 boards, and then he had 6 fouls. So he really got ate up in that game, And just looking at overall, it's just a really good win for the Knicks. And he was doing well right up into the Rockets game. So you could talk about that one, Danny D.
The Rockets game, what you can expect, you know what I'm saying? Because now you go from Denver, they have okay with Jamal Murray, and then you have to have Jared Jack defend James Harden. We really can't compare. They're two different players. And then offensively, Houston has a lot of firepower, and these guys are just chucking up threes. When they say chuck up, they were 19 for 52 from threes. All right? Everybody in the starting five scored over double figures. So really, what can you do? I respect it. We all expect them to lose this game, which they were supposed to. Hopefully, we thought they can get. We thought Houston was coming on 0-2, and then James Harden said when he comes to the Garden, he's coming to get busy. He had 31. Yeah, he had 31
and 9 assists.
Yeah, and the Knicks were doing good. At one point, we were winning, and then they went on a 10. I think they went on a 16-0 run, and after that, they were up by 10. It's hard to play catch up when these guys are bombing threes from anywhere. Then bummy Ryan Anderson had 21. So what can you do? I'll take it though. But they at least they didn't give up. They tried though.
Yeah, that's true. They played their game. That was the thing. Knicks didn't stop them from playing their style, and that basically was the game in itself. How about you, Flo? What you want to add to that?
Knicks gave up 76 points in the second and third quarter combined. Terrible defense. Terrible defense.
Yeah, way too many threes. I mean, and this consistent shooting wise, only things that stood out that was actually good for the Knicks. Trying to see some silver lining. You saw Tim Hardaway did okay, like 23 points for 4 assists and 2 steals. But you also have Frank. He did okay as well with a plus 14, a plus minus. And he actually broke NBA record in that game with the most steals in 5 by a teenager who didn't start a game. So that was something I'm looking at his defense steadily improving. But the thing is, they kind of shut down KP a little bit. He only had 19 points after scoring 30 in the first 6 games total as an average. So that's the thing you have to look at. And then also just looking at overall was that the Knicks don't beat the Rockets. This is the 23rd time in the last 25 meetings that they lost. And they lost the series of 10 out of 12.
Series.
So that's the thing you have to look at as well. So it's kind of like we thought before this game even started, it was going to lose, and it did end up losing, and you just moved on from there at that point, which brings us to the Suns game, which is the most recent game. What you want to say about that, Flo?
34 points by Devin Booker. 34 points. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 33 minutes. Tyson Chandler, 15 points, 10 rebounds in 25 minutes. For the Knicks, overall, Michael Beasley had 8 points in the third quarter. Overall, he had 11 points in that game. Overall. Kanter, 12 points. 6 for 6 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 16 minutes. Jack, I believe, had 5 assists overall. Porzingis, 37 points. 13 of 22 from the field. 10 of 13 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 31 minutes. Hardaway Jr., 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in 32 minutes. McDermott, 12 points and 1 rebound in 15 minutes. Great win by the Knicks. They shot the ball well. The only thing I had a problem was in the fourth quarter. They gave up 1 points. It was a great win. They deserve it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely a coming out game for KP, and I'll get into that a little more when I talk about how I saw the game. What you thought about, Danny D?
Yeah, I thought about it. It was a good game overall, but I think we should have blew them out by more. It was sloppiness towards, like Flo said, towards the fourth, and Kristaps had a great game. Had a great game. You know, so like El said, he about to have a breakout game. We really needed it. Courtney Lee with 10.5 rebounds doing what he has to do, and Michael Beasley doing what he has to do, and the bench doing what they have to do. As a team, it was a good win, and it was close in the beginning, but I really think they should have blew them out by more. It should have been they should have won by like 30.
Yeah, I hear you with that as well. Plus, they don't have the greatest defense, but this team is learning how to win, you know. I'm shocked they haven't playing as well as they're playing, and they're learning as they go. And that's the thing you really saw in this game, looking at KP with 37 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and 10 of 13 from the free throw line. And just looking at the game, you could just see like the energy he brought to that team. This is the game that you really was glad that Melo wasn't there, so you really could see what KP could do as the main focal point. And that block, when he got the block and then ran back and got the follow-up dunk, that was something to see, a guy that size that can move like that. That's crazy. That made what on Tyson Chandler say what he said, and I quote, Porzingis is special. He has a chance to be the best player in the league. So that's something you can go into, fellas. Do you think he really has the chance to be the best player in the league? Or what do you think about that, Flo?
Well, LA, what about the comment that Porzingis said after that?
What was that?
The comment Porzingis mentioned was, I'm happy that I got to respect my peers. Only if I can get the respects of the refs, and I'll be fine.
That's great. Because a lot of times he is getting pushed around, you know. A lot of times he's not getting that little extra quote that a lot of more vocal players and more veteran players receive, which is something Hornets I think has to do and really bring that to the attention of refs as well. Maybe take a little technical here and there just to get them to notice. Because like I talked about before, Paul Millsap, a lot of times he was doing a little extra push here and there, which they should have called a foul even quicker than they did to me sometimes. But go on, Flo.
No, I mean, in terms of Porzingis, yes, he's an emerging superstar. Slowly but surely, he should be an all-star. If it's not going to be this year, hopefully next year. But definitely, he is a star in this league. Definitely.
Anything else you want to add to that, Danny D?
Yeah, he can definitely be one of the best, and he definitely should be an all-star this year. Like, if he can just maintain, because he's going to be the number one option right now. He's going to get the minutes. He's going to get the touches. And right now, remember, this is the East. So, you know, he definitely should get that. And the refs need to start giving him calls, because he's getting banged up and getting hit over, like, getting fouled. I remember it was one in Detroit. They were hugging him, holding his whole arm, and he was getting no calls at all.
Exactly. He had the bloody nose the other day and the Freddy Krueger slash against his arm. So they need to start making some calls, man. And if he doesn't make the All-Star game, that's a big disappointment to me with the way he's playing so far. I mean, barring any injuries or something like that, you hope none of that happens. But, you know, right now, he's the face of the franchise. And that brings us to the end of those games that we played thus far. The next coming games in the upcoming schedule for the Knicks between now and our next podcast are the Knicks will play the Pacers tonight at MSG at 7:30. On Tuesday at 7:30, they will play the Hornets at MSG as well. And on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, they will play against the Orlando Magic. And Saturday, they will play against the Kings. So how many games do you believe the Knicks will win regarding these upcoming games, fellas? And what's your thoughts overall, starting with you, Danny D?
I think they can go 3-1.
Okay.
I think they can do a 3-1. I think like the Pacers, I think they can beat the Pacers. They definitely could beat the Kings. And then the Hornets. See, the only problem with the Hornets or Orlando, they're gonna have to split. They can get one. If they can get one of those games, one of those games, and I'm really thinking maybe Orlando they can win, because the Hornets. I'm just looking at the matchup. Only with the matchup with the guard play with Kemba, and maybe with Ever Fournier with Jared Jack. Jared Jack is gonna have a problem. That's the only thing I see right now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be something to see.
Yeah, I'm looking at the guard play. Because like the Kings, it's just the guard play I see with those teams. And with the Pacers, but I think KP can get busy, though.
Okay. How about you, Flo? How you think the Knicks going to do the upcoming 4 games?
LM, the Knicks are going to go 4-0. 4-0.
Wow.
Sorry. The Knicks are 3-1 when they average at least 21 assists or more. 1-3 when they average less than 21 assists. So first, to break down this Pacers game, they got to protect the paint, number 1. Number 2, they got to defend the 3-point line. Number 3, they got to slow down Victor Oladipo. Throw different bodies at him. With Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., Frank off the bench, a little bit of Jared Jack. Just throw different bodies on Oladipo. And move the ball. Like I mentioned earlier, move the ball. 21 assists or more, move the ball. And they should win this game. The matchup I do want to see is probably Porzingis, who stated that he's not a center in this league, he's a power forward, against Miles Turner, who's coming back from injury. He plays the center position, but you might see him guard Porzingis at some points in the game. So that's going to be a good matchup. In regards to the Hornets, I think the Knicks' front line has to dominate in order to beat the Hornets. Their front line has to dominate. So Porzingis, Cantor, Tim Hardaway Jr., they got to dominate. Kemba Walker is going to be a problem. But you got Courtney Lee matched up against Jeremy Lamb. That matchup is even.
Okay.
Magic's game. The Knicks front line got to step up, take care of business. Same thing with the Kings game. So, to me, I think that's where the Knicks have the advantage against all these teams, their front line. So, if they take care of business, they should win all 4 games and end up 4-0 this week.
Hey, I hope it happens, man. But I don't see that. I see the Knicks don't do well prosperity, man. I think they're going to go 500, 2-2. I see them winning against the Pacers, although last week I thought they might have lost, but they can ride on a nice little wave of momentum. I think they should win tonight. Then they got the Hornets. I think they're going to lose that game. Kemba Walker going to look at that with Jared Jackson, say barbecue chicken, brothers. And then you got the Magic. I see them losing that game as well, as long as DJ Augustine is healthy. I think they got a lot of weapons, Fournier, a lot of their forwards up front, Vucevic and everything in that nature. I see the Knicks losing that one. And then the Kings, they better win that game because the Kings look terrible. Right now, George Hill, I don't know what's going on with that situation. But that's it, fellas, for the upcoming games. We'll go back and see how we did coming next week. And that brings us right into our next segment, which is Behind the Scenes. And before we get right into Behind the Scenes, basically, listeners, this is where we talk about any G League developmental news or any trade rumors or articles that we saw they might want to talk about regarding the Knicks and bring it to the forefront. Starting with you, Flo. You got any behind-the-scenes news regarding the Knicks today?
LA, I just want to give a congratulations to the Westchester Knicks. They defeated the Windy City Bulls 114-102 at the Sears Center. Trey Burke, starting point guard, 21 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 3 rebounds in 37 minutes. And the other guard started from Florida State, Xavier Rathan Mays, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in 39 minutes. Starting 5 played well. So a great victory by the Westchester Knicks last night. Excellent job.
Okay, very nice. What else you got, Flo?
LA, I want to mention that on November 13, Joakim Noah is scheduled to be back from suspension. Now, the Knicks need to clear up some space. You've got 3 players right now that are real cheap on their roster and expiring contracts. In regards to Kaminskis, Michael Beasley, and Ramon Sessions. My questions for everyone here is, what do you think the Knicks should do in terms of trying to clear up some space in regards to, activating Joakim Noah back? Should they trade all 3 players? Should they trade one of them? And what do you think they can get in return?
Okay. I saw a lot of things regarding this. Basically, listeners, you can only keep 16 players. You can't keep 16 players on your roster. And this is the issue the Knicks are facing right now because with Jared Jack, he has a non-guaranteed deal right now, but he's playing really well right now. So I don't really see him being one of the players that you're going to get rid of. But like Flo stated, those are the main 3, I think, right now who you have to really think about where they could go. The other issue you had is Ron Baker, who is not playing right now and struggling mightily. But he has a 1-year Bird restriction based on the player option for 2018-2019, which basically has a no-trade clause, requiring the ultimate approval of any trade according to ESPN's Ian Begley. So that's the issue there, But how you think about it, Andy? What you see the Knicks to do right now, looking at this logjam regarding the roster?
Man, it wouldn't be no logjam with me. I'll tell Jakim that we have no room for you, player. Guarantee or no guarantee. Now, you can't come back, man. We don't need you right now, man. You got to man up and things like that. I don't know if you want to do a buyout or something like that. There's no need for you on this team. You put yourself in this situation, getting suspended with the medical use and things like that, the drug use, and then no offense, Jakeem, you know what I'm saying? It's all on you, player. You put yourself in this situation. That's just me, because the team is gelling, things like that. I like the team how it is with gelling, and then we got to think about getting you playing time, getting you on the court, and plus we paying you all this money. Jakeem, man, go ahead. Like I said before, go ahead and retire and do us all a favor.
I hear you. I don't disagree a little bit this time, just because looking at it, I know that's where we think he really should be, but he's not going to leave that money on the table. It's way too much money right now. So you got to try to bring up his trade value the best you can, get him some minutes. And looking at just me overall, just look at his salary right now. You only got really 3 players you can really try to move, and that's like Courtney Lee, Thomas, and Kuzmiskis. Otherwise, unless you're going to try to just put Sessions back. And to me, Kuzmiskis is the guy right now. Although I like him, he's not really getting much burn. He has more of a manageable contract with $3 million per year, basically 1 year left and 1 qualifying year. So the thing I'm looking at is some of the players that might fit into that criteria. And to me, the Knicks right now really struggling with a backup point guard that has some ability to play a 2 a little bit. That's the thing I'm looking at, offensive-wise and defensive-wise, because a lot falls on to Jared Jack and Frank, and right now you don't really have nobody else in between that. So I'll talk about some guys and see what y'all think. One guy I saw is Tyus Jones on the T-Wolves. He has a manageable contract. Not the greatest player, but he does have some potential. And is actually a player you actually can make a move for. He's 21 years old. And another dude I saw was also Lorenzo Brown from the Raptors. Another guy that's small contract. He only averaged 3 points per game, but 2.3 assists. And these are the type of guys I would try to make a move that's actually can happen and maybe have to help the Knicks down the road. That's not going to lock up any salary cap in the next 2 years or so when you try to make that big free agent signing. Other than that, only other people out there really available is maybe like a Michael Carter-Williams or Knicks from the 76ers that kind of fit that criteria as well. He's more of a point guard than Nick Stauskas, but he's a 2 guard that you may have a little talent left in him and see what he can do, and maybe use that spot for that backup position on the 2 guard under McDermott as well as Courtney Lee. What do you guys think about that, or what's your overall thoughts about where they should go with that roster spot? What about you, Flo?
Yeah, LA, I'm going to actually disagree with D on this. You're going to need Noah for that experience on the roster. Number 1, this guy has a lot of playoff experience. Number 2, he can communicate with Frank because they both speak French. So they can, it's a big help to have Noah on the roster for this year. In regards to moving some players, they should definitely consider moving Sessions. If they can do it, pull the trigger on it. They get a second-round draft pick, fine. I like the idea of Tyrus Jones, LA, 21 years old. I like that idea. That's not a bad situation to go after. Not a bad play to go after. I'm not that familiar with Lorenzo Brown, LA, so I apologize. But I'll take either one of these players. Or Michael Carter Williams. I'm a big fan of Michael Carter Williams. So if I can remove all three guys, that's even better.
Oh, that's a lot to move, though. That's the only thing. And also a guy that's not really getting burned is Lance Thomas. He really kind of fell out the rotation a little bit, too, when you look at it. But I think they're probably going to do the sessions looking at it right now. And that's probably the easiest way to go, just because he kind of fell out of the rotation. And, you know, Knicks right now is winning, like Danny D said as well. You don't really want to mess with the chemistry, so I definitely see where we both coming from. But also, you want to make sure to give your team the best chance to improve the team come All-Star break if they keep playing as well they're playing right now. Anything else you want to add to that, fellas? If not,
yeah,
okay, Flo.
You can always, like you said earlier, you can always move Joakim Noah. Once he's able to get on the floor and he produces, you can always move him by the All-Star break. So you don't have to keep him for the whole year. You want to make sure he looks good out there on the floor, he looks healthy, and he's playing defense, and he's, scoring a little bit. You can always move him by February.
Yeah, you don't want to get locked up in a Bledsoe situation when the guy's just sitting there and you don't know where he's at talent-wise, or even if he came back from his injury-wise in Noah's case. So that's the issue with that. But you got anything else regarding our segment there, Danny D?
I'm just talking about Noah's still a bum. I'm still talking about that. Remember, that's how. Remember last year we was talking all that, and that's how Kylo Quinn got busy. Remember? That's how Kylo Quinn got his minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, behind the scenes, if you have anything for that.
Oh, behind the scenes? All I have is article talking about Mr. Stephen Bundy from the Daily News. And he was talking about how KP said that Giannis did an interview with a Latvian magazine. And KP basically was trying to say that his brother's quotes were taken out of context. So Giannis said, according to Bundy from Sports Vista, that he said that his younger brother will leave the Knicks if they don't make him happy, even if it means giving up the money. Because, they have his rookie deal. They can offer him more for money. And then that Porzingis skipped this exit video, the exit meeting, because Carmelo and his people around him never tried to change anything. And then they asked him, how was it taken out of context? And Porzingis declined to elaborate any further about that.
Yeah, I did see this article. They talked about it a little bit before the previous game, and Porzingis had to come out and say, basically, I'm not quoting that, his heart is New York. He want to be a New York Knick. Kind of some of the words were taken out of context. Some language issues they trying to say that he didn't really mean what he said. A little slide, a little dancing. But, that's basically what you wanted to hear as a fan. But I know, Flo, we had talked about this all day a little bit, and he was going back and forth. What you thought about this overall?
LA, and I think, we definitely did talk about this. At the end of the day, I really don't believe it's about money about Porzingis. It's more about what can you surround him with in terms of pieces where he can help carry this franchise and bring them a chip. So it's about pieces for Porzingis. It's not about money. I really believe it's not about money. Pieces. He wants to be the number one option. Now, get him some pieces. Get him a number 2 and number 3 option. Frank right now is not ready to be a number 2 or number 3 option. He's still developing. The problem right now is, as much as you and D disagree about Tim Hardaway Jr., at this point, with the money that he's making, he's got to be a number 3 option on his team. Period.
No, I agree. He's just not number 2. If he ain't number 3, then he's really a bust. Because you're paying him almost number 2 money. That's basically what the issue is with that. But the thing with Porzingis, when they say it's not about the money, it's always about the money. Don't ever think it's not about that. And he hasn't got paid any real money yet. It's not like this is his second contract. This is first. And I think that he really want that big money. But like you said, I totally agree with you, Flo. He don't want to be stuck on this team like Pat Ewing was and being the only star player, and you never surrounded with no really star players to help him go after that chip, especially in this league where it's a bunch of people just AAU style. You don't want to go against this Golden State Warriors and Cleveland just ganging up on everybody and you don't have no help on your side. So I totally agree with that part. But the money definitely going to come into the equation. And I think he want to be here. I think you're seeing a player that's really embracing the spotlight. He's embracing the fans. He's embracing MSG. And that's what you need. You need a player that's not scared of that and that's not scared of those bright lights. And his main thing is just keep being consistent and staying healthy. Because he's had some good years so far, but he haven't had a year like he's having right now yet. And he hasn't done it throughout the whole year. So that's the thing. It's like just worry about mostly what's on the court. You play well on the court, the rest of it will take care of itself. The Knicks will have money because they don't have that many people on the contract and after the next 2 years. So you keep playing well, the players will come and play with you. That's the thing. So he's in control of that as much as the Knicks are in that respect. Knicks not worried about spending money, as you saw with Tim Hardaway Jr. They don't mind spending some money. Just make sure you spend on the right people. So I think that's where we at, you know. That's where we at right now, fellas. And hopefully they keep playing well and we get the right pieces and we can move on and see some more, good times as Knicks fans and on Knicksfandom. And that brings us to our closing remarks for today's show. You have any closing remarks, Flo?
LA, I want to thank you indeed for allowing me to be part of this great show, Knicksfandom. I want to thank all the listeners. Please tell a friend, subscribe. Please leave a positive review on iTunes. Thank you very much for all the support, especially all the listeners that's been tuning into the show from day one. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Definitely. And how about you, Danny D? You got any closing remarks?
Man, thank you guys once again. All the fans, keep on subscribing and keep on sharing, keep on listening. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, fellas. As always, much appreciated. Always appreciate your contributions. Thank you to our listeners. Have a good one. See ya.